You are to predict rice yield across different fields in Vietnam using satellite data. I have used certain one data for my approach. Why is my approach the best? I have made sure to properly understand the temporal profile of signature for the bands and band combinations, as insights from these profiles can drive continuous model improvement in the future. I've also made sure to use features that actually mimic rice phonology and robust outliers, and my approach is also much less prone to overfitting. Key elements of my approach include data retrieval and analysis, feature generation and selection, model building, a robust validation scheme, and model selection, finally model hyperparameter optimization. I'd like to talk a bit more on the temporal profile for the polarization VV or the band VV for summer, autumn, and the winter spring season. Now, the plot on the left corresponds to a field in summer, autumn season, and the one on the right corresponds to a field in winter spring season. What one immediately sees is that the plot on the right looks more random than the plot on the left, and the likely reason for this is that the band VV is highly sensitive to surface moisture, and sharp drops in the VV values are related to the presence of moisture. And on the left, this profile looks much more orderly or regular than the one on the right, because rainfall in the summer autumn season is much more higher than the winter spring season. The winter spring season is drier, and so rainfall being a natural phenomenon, one would expect that the water supply and hence the drops in the VV value should be follow a more regular pattern than that of the winter spring, because the winter spring is water supplies by irrigation. So one would expect that rainfall being natural should be more regular than irrigation. And also I also looked at other profiles like VH, VV, VH, RVI, trying to see if I could draw insights from them. And I also made use of features that mimic rice phonology by breaking the temporal profile into 4 equal parts, and taking the mean in each of those parts, and such that each of the values in parts can correspond to distinct phases of the rice growth cycle. So the first corresponds to transplanting stroke sowing phase, the second to the vegetative phase, the third to reproductive phase, and the last the ripening phase. I have also made sure that my approach is much less prone to overfitting, because I have made minimal assumptions about phenomena I observed in band profiles, and also I made use of a 5-fold cross validation scheme which preserves the distribution of the targets across each of the splits, so that my model is trained and evaluated on data that's that is representative of what the model sees in the training set and what it will likely see in the future, so that one can get a more holistic evaluation of the model. I use CAD for this model, and like I've explained, the permutation entropy VV is the most important feature, because it can really capture that randomness, that differential randomness between the two seasons, and rice yield depends on the season. The other permutation entropy features are also important, because that randomness is an important aspect of this modeling for this challenge, and the randomness, higher randomness, more likely it is to come from the winter spring season and all of that. The error analysis, this is just the plot that shows the error analysis across the entire training set. Now, why is my model important for improving food security? Like I pointed out earlier, my model is more feature oriented, in the sense that I try to study the band profiles to see if I could make out phenomena like what's the transplanting technique or field planning technique or field preparation technique going on here. Like from the profiles, I was trying to get, okay, what's the rice variety being planted here, what's the planting date, what's the length of the season, how long is the vegetative phase, how much irrigation does the field receive. And I tried to see if I could associate this with the rice, but I never made use of it in my final model. But these are points that could help with to improve the model in the future, if they can be tested against ground truth data, and also satellite data can provide good estimate of before the season ends. And it's important to monitor rice wheat, because it is an important aspect of our diet, and it's essential that yield is optimal to ensure food security.